What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Truthful Only. Today we're going to be reacting to Kamala Harris's interview on Oprah. We know that's going to be a softball interview. Anytime that you're getting an interview by a celebrity, it's never really a tough interview whatsoever. There's never going to be any hard questions being asked, and she's never going to be held to the fire by any means. Let's get into this, see if she comes up with anything new or she pretty much just repeats herself and just continues to laugh like she does in every other interview.
As I've said, in my career as a prosecutor, I never looked at a victim or a witness and asked them, are you a Republican or a Democrat? The only thing I ever asked them is, are you okay?
Are you okay? I know when I heard that.
You know?
Touch me.
And traveling this country and knowing what is at stake in terms of fundamental freedoms, what's at stake in terms of fighting against hate and those efforts to divide us. Mm-hmm. And I do know that I'm in a position to do something about it. So I felt a great responsibility. Mm-hmm.
She's been in position to do something about it. She's been in office the last 3.5 years as a vice president. She's done nothing. I don't know how people can be so naive to think that you're going to give her another 4 years and you're going to see a different result.
Power of the people, right? Who, I'm not the only leader in this. We're all leaders in this. This is so much bigger than me. Mm-hmm. It's about who we are as Americans. And it's about making clear what we stand for. And what we stand for is, it is about the ideals upon which we were founded, including the importance of freedom and the importance of independence and the importance of dignity, purpose, but it is also about what we stand for in terms of our values. I think of it this way.
I think a lot boils down to values. I just said values are on the line here.
Yes. I don't know why they think that the way that they think is morally superior than the way that half the country thinks.
I mean, think about it, Oprah. The idea that some would suggest, and that my opponent suggests, which is that the measure of the strength of a leader is based on who you beat down. Come on. The real measure of the strength of a leader is based on who you lift up.
She's been working on that for forever. I feel like every interview that she gets on, I've heard her say that so many different times. And she's a politician. They all beat each other up. The left and the right go against each other all the time. It goes both ways. It's not like one side's doing it and the other side's just sitting back and just taking it. Just for her to be acting like a victim or acting like she's taking the high road. She does the same thing to Trump. Trump does the same thing to her. Why is she acting like it only goes one direction?
And it's important for us
absolutely
to articulate that.
You know, ever since the debate, we feel for our fellow citizens in Springfield. Do you not think about the fellow citizens in Springfield, Ohio, the Haitian families, the non-Haitian families, everybody having to deal with this lie that has endangered the lives of Haitian people and anybody who looks Haitian? Everybody in...
What exactly does look Haitian mean? A black person, you just automatically are going to think that they're Haitian? What exactly do you mean by that? And they're acting like Trump came up with this lie. If it even is a lie, who even knows at this point? But everybody seen it on social media. I don't know why these people are acting so oblivious, like they didn't see it on social media like everybody else. Trump's not just making it up out of pretty much nothing. Like, everybody see it on social media. To act like you don't know why it's being brought up, you're just being disingenuous.
America feels for that. And everybody in America, left, right, middle, has concerns about immigration. Yeah. And I'm told that, Justin, where are you in the audience? Justin.
Hello.
In our audience.
Hello, Madam Vice President.
You live in Michigan.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't you love saying hello, Madam Vice President?
This is a cornball right here. You can already tell, sucking up already. He didn't even get his question asked and he's trying to be a yes man.
What's your question? It's an immigration question.
My question for you is, when you become president, what would be your specific steps? Yeah, of course.
I don't know why they're so confident they're going to win. It's going to be so funny if they end up losing and they come out with this arrogance and confidence that they're just going to win by default. It's a pretty tight race as far as the polls go. So I don't know why she's so confident that it's just going to go in her favor.
What would be your specific steps to strengthening the border?
So it's a wonderful and important question. My background was as a prosecutor, and I was also the elected attorney general for 2 terms of a border state. So this is not a theoretical issue for me. This is something I've actually worked on.
Okay.
I have prosecuted transnational criminal organizations for the trafficking of guns, drugs, and human beings. I take very seriously the importance of having a secure border and ensuring the safety of the American people.
Why has she not been doing it? She's saying that she has a record of doing these things. She has not been doing it the last 3.5, 4 years. She had all opportunity to do it. I can't do it. You can't do it. She can do it. She can at least bring it to the attention. She's just not even doing it. She's ignored the problem. It's said that we have 12 to 15 million illegal immigrants in this country, and she's responsible for that. Her administration is responsible for that. And who knows, it's probably not 12 to 15 million. It's probably more like 20 million. That's just 12 to 15 million that they accounted for.
Sadly, where we are now can be traced most recently back to the fact that when the United States Congress, members of the Congress, including some of the most conservative Republicans, came up with a border security bill. And here's what that border security bill would have done. It would have put 1,500 more border agents at the border. Let me tell you, those border agents are working around the clock. It would have just been about giving them some support and relief, which is probably why the border agents actually.
What else was in the bill? I doubt it was just, we're going to give that department 1,500 new members. I'm sure there was a bunch of other things in the bill that they did not agree with, and that's why they rejected it. She's not telling the full story. I've noticed with Democrats, what they do in these bills is they put so many things in this bill that are unrelated. Then once the other party does not agree to the bill because there's so much other nonsense in the bill, they get looked at like they're the criminal. But if we're focused on one topic and you have all this other stuff in the bill that has nothing to do with the topic, I would reject it too. And I'm pretty sure you would if you have any sense.
The bill would have allowed us to have more resources to prosecute transnational criminal organizations. And it would have been part of the solution. And Donald Trump called up those folks and said, don't put that bill on the floor for a vote. He blocked the bill.
What proof does she have that Donald Trump called up his homeboys and was just like, yo, don't pass that. We need there to be a problem, so please don't pass it. That doesn't make any sense. She's just completely making that up. And that's why I'm saying these politicians need to be held accountable. You can't just blatantly just come out and just say nonsense. And then nobody questions you on it. We're supposed to just take it at face value. People need to be holding her accountable and saying, how does she know this information? If it even happened, or she's just making it up. We don't know, because nobody ever has any sort of pushback.
You know why? Because he'd prefer to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem. And he has put his personal political security before border security.
They have been doing that. They put their own personal political stuff above us all the time. You put these people in office, they say that they're going to do so many things for you. They get into office, they do absolutely nothing. 4 years go by, nothing happens.
Because understand, even in the intervening months, what that bill would have done to give support to folks who care about this issue. And this again gets to the point about what does leadership really look like? And is it about you or is it about the people? Right. Is it about running on problems or fixing problems? My work and my career has always been about saying, let's fix problems. Let's address the needs, because we know it's within our capacity to do that.
So to answer Justin's question, now that bill...
Answer Justin's question, because she never answered it. She rambled on for 3 minutes about nothing. She does this time and time again. She'll talk for so long and just be rambling about nothing that you forget what the original question was. We have no idea what the original question is anymore, because 3 minutes later, Kamala is still talking about nothing.
Bill has gone and hasn't passed. Will you reintroduce that?
Absolutely. And when I am elected president of the United States, I will make sure that bill gets to my desk and I will sign it into law.
Thank you, Justin.
Thank you, Justin.
Listen to this.
She could have said that in about 10 seconds, but she wanted to ramble on for 3 minutes about nothing.
Americans 18 to 34 say that the cost of living is their top issue ahead of the election. Let's take a look. Rachel and Garrett say they have to watch every penny.
When I think of middle class, I think about people who are able to just get up and go and do things within their means and like not extravagant things, but be able to get up and go to dinner whenever they want, or maybe take that trip, that long weekend trip. We don't have that luxury.
You probably had that luxury in 2019. Why would you put this lady back in office for another 4 years if you're struggling now? They don't understand how contradicting this is by having these people come on here saying how much they're struggling. That should never be a reason to put her back in office. That should be a reason to keep her out of office.
Her tax plan is phenomenal. No glaze.
Kamala
Mad glaze. He's glazing like no other.
Harris just delivered her new economic plan, and boy, oh boy, is it good for small business owners.
When I am elected president, I will make it a top priority to bring down costs and increase economic security for all Americans.
I understand your sister and brother-in-law moved in and you're hoping to save money to have a second child.
So, Madam Vice President, we are, like many, many young Americans, just experiencing a very high cost of living. We ended up giving up our apartment, moving in with our parents who were so gracious to take us in for over a year so that we could save money and ultimately buy a home, because that's what we thought the American dream was. We really would love to know what your plan is to help lower the cost of living.
First of all, thank you both for being here. And yours is
I think it really boils down to one question. How are you doing in 2019, 2020? How are you doing now? If this is you now, why would you put her back in office? That makes no sense. To give her another 4 years, what more is she going to prove?
part of my plan is for first-time homeowners, buyers, to have a $25,000 down payment assistance to buy your first home. Because people just need to be able.
This is a disaster. If you give people $25,000 to buy a home, what do you think the sellers are going to do? They're obviously going to raise their prices by $25,000 because they know that the government is handing out $25,000 to first-time home buyers. You're just going to jack up the housing market. And once you jack up the housing market, you have more unaffordability in the market. So less people will be able to buy homes. This is not rocket science. And then if they're giving you that $25,000, where do you think that comes from? Where is that money coming from? Are they going to print more money, or are they going to raise taxes in some other area? You need to think about these things before you just go casting your votes to somebody that just spews out ideas that don't make any sense.
We have so many entrepreneurs in our country who have great ideas, incredible work ethic, but not necessarily access to capital, because not everybody, like my opponent, was handed $400 million on a silver plate that he filed bankruptcy 6 times on. And so...
Why are you all up in his pockets? Him getting money as an inheritance, what does that have to do with you? You're worth like a couple $1 million. He's worth like a couple $1 billion. I don't think he needs to be taking financial advice from you. I think he's doing just fine.
Part of my plan is to give startup small businesses a $50,000 tax deduction to start up their small business. Right now it's $5,000. Nobody can start a small business with $5,000. So that's part of my plan. Yeah. That's a business in
teeny tiny
right,
business.
Like, it's a concept of a business, right?
Yes.
You know where I'm going. That's right. And
It's still on paper with the $5,000.
Right.
It's still on
It hasn't happened, right? So part of my plan is also to extend and expand the child tax credit to $6,000, so that you can, in the first year of your child's life, have the resources to be able to buy a crib and a car seat and clothes for your baby, knowing that's such an important time in their development. So many people have the ambition, have the aspirations, are working hard, but just need opportunity to reach their goals and their dreams.
So what happens after the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, and so on year of that child's life? Do they not get the tax credit at that point? This is what I'm saying, that she goes on these interviews and nobody's having any sort of pushback She could just keep saying these things all the time. Every interview that she gets on, she says the same thing, but there's no pushback, so she'll continue just getting away with it. Once again, Kamala Harris just cackling and just saying the same thing every interview that she gets on. She's not saying anything different. She's not being held accountable by anybody. She could just get on these softball interviews by celebrities, which is not an interview. People want to see her answer questions. It's pretty sad that people are still going to go out and vote for her and not have answers to these questions, because there's very selective few people that actually do research and actually think for themselves and weigh out their options and see who they should vote for. People are blindly just going to vote for her, one, because she's a woman, and two, because she's black. That's enough reason for people to cast their vote. So they have all of this allegiance to the color of their skin or to their gender. You have to think a little more logically to make a decision about who's going to be in office for 4 years. That's all for this video. I'll see you guys out on the next one.